and welcome to the internet. I'm Kristen and today I'm going to be doing the Reader Problems book tag. This tag was originally created by Tiffany on About to Read, and I was not tagged to do this tag, but it seems pretty freaking awesome, so I'm gonna do it anyway. Basically, this tag is a list of 11 questions that are problems that book nerds deal with and how we handle them. So let's get started. Question 1. You have 20,000 books on your TBR list. True story though. How do you decide which one you're going to read? Okay, so I don't really have a specific method for picking what book I'm going to read. Yes, I have a to-be-read jar, but I don't really use it that often. Usually I just pick whatever I feel like reading at that moment in time, or something that someone has constantly been telling me that I need to read, so finally I just give in and I read it because they want me to. Question 2. You're halfway through a book and you're just not loving it. Do you quit or are you committed? I try to finish books that I'm not loving, but it doesn't always work out. Usually I will tell myself that I'm gonna finish this book, even if it is kind of bad. I need to know how it ends. And then I set it down and I just never pick it up again. And next thing I know, I'm halfway through a different book and, well, there's no going back at that point now, is there? Question 3. The year is coming to a close and you are so close yet so far away to your goal on your Goodreads reading challenge. Do you try to catch up, and how? Yeah, I would at least try to catch up, and as for a method of doing so, I would probably just try to power through as many books as I could, because near the end of the year there's no school and there's nothing really going on in my life, so I have lots of free time to read. Question 4. The cover of a series you love do not match. How do you cope? That is something that is uncopable, and you cry every day because of it. Seriously though, I don't understand why cover designers would ever think that it's a good idea to have the beginning of a series covers look one way, and then halfway through you just change it. No, that is never okay. All of the covers need to look the same, and they need to look cute next to each other, and it just... Question 5. Everyone and their mother loves a book that you just really don't like. Who do you bond with over shared feelings? Well, when I don't like a book, usually I just keep it to myself, because I don't know, if someone likes the book, they can like the book, and if I don't like the book, I don't have to like the book. It doesn't really matter to me. I don't know. I don't care if people share their feelings with me about books, because I'm gonna like what I like, and I'm not gonna like what I don't like, and I don't care what you have to say about it. Number 6. You're reading a book and you are about to start crying in public. How do you deal? When I'm about to start crying in public because of a book, I basically just accept the fact that I'm going to cry in public because of a book, and people can judge me if they want to, but I'm going to cry over that book, and I'm going to be proud of myself for crying over that book, because it's a really good book if I'm crying over it, so maybe everyone who's watching me cry will just go pick up the book so they can understand my feelings. Number 7. A sequel of a book you loved just came out, but you can't really remember the first book. Will you reread the book, skip the sequel, find a synopsis on Goodreads, or cry in frustration? If there's a sequel to a book that I read like a long time ago that finally came out, or I'm just reading it now, or whatever the deal is, usually I will just read the sequel as is. I will just read the sequel then, no matter how much of the first book I remember, because usually as I start reading sequels, more of the first book comes back into my memory, and I remember more of it, so then it's not really as much of an issue as I thought it was going to be, and we all live happily ever after. You do not want anyone, and I mean anyone, borrowing your books. How do you tell them politely when they ask? If someone asks to borrow my books and I don't trust them, usually I just straight up tell them no, and probably suggest that they go find it at a library, because my books are like one of my biggest obsessions, and I'm like completely in love with them, and if something ever happened to them, I would probably kill someone, and I don't want to have to kill people, so the best option is just not to let people touch them. Reading ADD. You've picked up and put down 5 books in the past month. How do you get over your reading slump? I was actually just in a reading slump for like a solid 2 months. And basically what I do is I just don't even try to read for a while. I don't pick up any books. I don't try to finish books that I haven't finished. Don't try to start new books. I just don't. I just stop. And then after a while, it's like there's this craving for books that I didn't even know I had. Like I'm being starved to death, and then finally I'm like, okay, I can read again now. I need to read again now. Please let me read again now. And then it's okay. Number 10. There are so many new books coming out that you are just dying to read. How many of them do you actually buy? Every single one. I actually have an issue with buying books. I just buy them all. If I want a book, I'm gonna buy it. And I might not read it for months after I buy it, but I have it, so then when I finally do want to read it, it's right there and I don't have to go out and buy it then. So it's easier to just buy it as soon as I know that I'm going to want to read it eventually. So, yeah. Number 11. After you've bought the new books that you can't wait to get to, how long do they sit on your shelf before you actually read them? Alright, well this kind of depends on the book and what type of mood I'm in to read. So like, let's say I buy a contemporary and then all of a sudden I'm just on a dystopian kick. That book could sit there for 6 months and I completely forgot that it's even there, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I want to read a contemporary today. So then that book 6 months later is finally like, yay, you're gonna read me now! But actually, some of the books have been on my TBR shelf for like probably over a year now. I'll read them eventually. There's just so many new books keep coming out and I can't pick an order to read them in, and it's just so stressful. Alright, that is the end of the Reading Problems book tag. I tag Nate from AReadersLegacy, Ryan from RyanReads, Livi from OurFandomLife, and all of you wonderful people that want to do this because it was actually really fun and you should all do it if you love books. And even if you don't love books, you should try to do it anyway. Actually, that would be interesting to see someone who doesn't like to read do a book tag. We need to make this happen in the future. Okay, so real quick, I would like to apologize to you guys for not posting a video in literally over a month. My life got so insanely busy with back to school, and then I was in a show, and then one of the leads got sick, and then I had to take over their part like 2 days before the show. I had to learn all of their lines, and it was just really stressful, okay? My whole life was just really stressful, and I was in a reading slump, so I didn't even really have anything to post about because I wasn't reading anything. But I am back now, and I started a book today, and I'm really proud of myself, so hopefully we will be getting videos up weekly again. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to thumbs it up and subscribe to my channel. I will be posting a new video next week, even if it kills me. Alright, I love you guys. Bye! And I not read... Same.